Hey everyone, I'm Grandmaster Ben Feingold. This is 5 Minutes with Ben, and I'm Ben. We're going to look at a famous endgame, the Lucena position. There's two famous rook and pawn versus rook positions. There's this one, Lucena, and there's the Philidor position where black's king is in front of white's pawn, and the Lucena position, white's king is in front of white's pawn. Lucena position's a win if you know how to win it. And the Philidor position's a draw if you know how to draw it. And learning those positions isn't very difficult. So we'll try to teach it in a nice way. It's very important in the Lucena position where white's trying to promote, but white's king is in front, that black's rook is on the file next to the white king. For example, if black moves the rook away, then white doesn't have to play very well to win. White can just play rook h3 and then move the king and then promote. So it's not too tough. And the worst you have to do is play rook here check first and then promote. Although, I guess frankly, I can promote first and then play rook check. So I guess it doesn't matter. Then white wins. Okay, but in the Lucena position, the black rook is on the H file and white's king can't move to the H file. White's king can't move to the F file because the black king is there. Okay, so the first thing you do in the Lucena position is you check the king away. If king F6, king F8, and white promotes next move. So king goes to D7. Now, we would like to move our king away and then promote. Unfortunately, black just checks forever. No, stop checking us. Okay, and we have to hide actually behind our G pawn again. So that didn't work. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to be ready for black to check us so we can block with our rook. Now, we don't want the king attacking our rook. So if we play rook here, the king will attack our rook, which is still winning. So we play rook e4, and now we're ready to move our king. Black makes a waiting move, stopping white from moving to the H file. King F7, threatening to promote. King G6, threatening to promote. King F6. Now, in this position, if black does nothing, like rook here, then we play rook E5, rook G5. Simple. If black does something, rook F1 check, now our rook is able to block and we promote our pawn to a king. To a queen, to a king. Take two. And for reasons I don't understand, this is called building a bridge, what white did. I don't know why it's called that. Let's see. Sounds like the bridge might collapse. Okay. Another thing black can do in this position, this is his last chance, is to play king d6. The idea is if we play rook e5, to play rook g5. Now, rook takes g7 draws because the king is defending the rook and attacking the rook. So in this position, we have more than one way to win, but the easiest is to check. And now, if the king moves, we play rook here and rook g5. And if the king moves to c6 to stop that, play rook d8 and then promote to a queen. Now, if you don't know how to mate with a rook, it's going to be hard to win the Lucena position because you could play perfectly like I showed you and then have king and rook versus king, then you don't know how to win. But most people know how to mate with the king and rook. But if you don't, you have to learn that first before you learn more complicated things like this Lucena position. I'm Grandmaster Ben Feingold. This has been 5 Minutes with Ben. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.